Good morning and thank you for joining us for the Daily Rundown. I'm Ray Bogan. House Republicans are joining President Biden's call for an end to the COVID emergency, and Tyre Nichols is being laid to rest. This is Straight Arrow News, unbiased, straight facts. First up, Winter Storm Mara continues to bring freezing rain and sleet to the southern plain states. Already this morning, more than 1,800 flights have been canceled and nearly 700 delayed. Just like yesterday, the most impacted airports are DFW and Love Field in Dallas. 3 people have died and at least 185,000 people are without electricity in Texas and Arkansas. Video shows that in some areas, it's not really snow that's falling. It's more of an icy slush that freezes the moment it hits the ground. Police in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and other states are urging people to stay off the roads. There have been hundreds of accidents, and in some cases, the National Guard has come out to assist stranded motorists.
We are going to have a dignified funeral service, not a marathon tomorrow.
Right.
And let the family mourn and receive whatever messages and the Vice President, but this is not about politics tomorrow, it's about justice.
Today is Tyre Nichols' funeral. The service will be held at the Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church in Memphis. 2,500 attendees are expected, despite the winter storm that's making its way through the area. Vice President Kamala Harris will be there after accepting an invitation from Nichols' mother and stepfather. Attorney Ben Crump will make what's being described as a call to action, and the Reverend Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. Nichols was beaten, tased, and pepper sprayed by police January 7th and died 3 days later. So far, 5 officers have been fired and charged with murder. 2 officers were suspended and 3 first responders were fired. The Memphis Police Department says more disciplinary action and criminal charges are possible. House Republicans passed the Pandemic is Over Act yesterday, which, if signed into law, would terminate the coronavirus public health emergency. Regardless of what happens with this bill, President Biden informed Congress the emergency will end May 11th. But the legislation sparked debate about what ending the health emergency means for Title 42. That's the pandemic-era order that allows the U.S. to deport immigrants who cross the border illegally on public health grounds. Here's what lawmakers had to say.
The Biden administration and Biden administration alone controls Title 42. That statute was written in 1944. Before the authority of the public health emergency even existed. If the Biden administration chooses to end Title 42 when the public health ends without working with us to secure the border, that's just another one of the failures to add to the list.
If you truly believe the pandemic is over, then you can't say that Title 42 is still needed at the border because of healthcare crisis.
The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear oral arguments on a case regarding Title 42 March 1st, but the justices are only deciding whether states have standing to sue in the first place. They're not going to make a ruling on the merits. Pope Francis is urging the people of the Congo to forgive those who have hurt them. He just said a mass before an estimated 1 million people who waited days to see him. The eastern side of the country has experienced decades of violence, and millions have fled. The Pope said forgiving doesn't mean pretending nothing has happened, but it does create what he described as an amnesty of heart. This is the first papal visit to the African nation since St. John Paul II went in 1985. Have you heard of ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence software that can write human-like text? To give you an idea of how good it is, one person asked ChatGPT to write an essay comparing and contrasting the theories of nationalism of Benedict Anderson and Ernest Gellner. The user showed ChatGPT's work and said, "We're witnessing the death of the college essay in real time, solid A- work in 10 seconds. Well, maybe not. Chat's parent company OpenAI now says they've created a classifier to help identify human text versus AI text. They say it will help people recognize automated AI-written misinformation campaigns and academic dishonesty. But the system isn't perfect. In a test, it correctly identified 26% of AI-written text and incorrectly labeled human-written text as AI-written 9% of the time.
Yeah, I think we can all celebrate, and this is really exciting. We were all so relieved last year when we hit about 250,000 butterflies. So to see that number tick up even more, a little bit modestly this year, is really a good sign that we've got, I think, a second chance.
Researchers say 330,000 monarch butterflies are wintering in California and Arizona this year. That's the highest number they've counted in 6 years and nearly 100,000 more than last year. But the population in the area is still significantly below what it was in the 1980s when there were millions of the black and orange insects. Scientists say the big culprit is overdevelopment along their migration route that has destroyed their habitat, in addition to an increase of the use of pesticides and herbicides. Thanks for watching the Daily Rundown with Straight Arrow News. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by only serving you, not an agenda. We'll be back with more news this afternoon. Until then, I'm Ray Bogan. Have a safe day and a great day.